Most executives do not need another lecture on AI terminology. They need an operating model. Here it is. You are not just using a chat tool, you are directing a digital department. A chat tool answers one question at a time. You stay in every exchange. An agent system is different. You assign a goal, it plans, delegates, checks progress, and brings work back for review. Not perfectly, not without oversight, but in a form senior leaders already understand. Direction, delegation, quality control, accountability. Today we look at the org chart behind Agentic AI. Who plans, who executes, who supports, and where accountability still sits. With you. Before models, think management structure. In a human organization, complex work rarely goes straight from CEO to junior hire. Usually, a manager turns the goal into a plan, sets sequence and standards, and reviews before work comes back up. Experienced staff do the substantive work: research, analysis, drafting, synthesis. Support handles structured volume, sorting, checking, formatting, extracting. Many AI agent systems follow similar logic. Not because AI is a person, or because the analogy is exact. Because complex work still needs direction, execution, support, and review. The question is not, which chatbot are we using? The better question is, what digital department are we building, and how should it be managed? Let me walk through the 3 roles in that department. Think of them as management roles and capability tiers, not literal job titles or literal years of human experience. The orchestrator is the department manager layer. It turns your goal into an operating plan. For a board-ready brief, it should decide the required information, parallel work streams, output standard, and review points. A well-designed orchestrator can assign tasks, compare the draft against the brief, and ask for revision when something is missing. That does not make it reliable by default. It does not remove your judgment or own the outcome. It reduces your involvement in the middle while keeping final review with you. Executors are the senior staff layer. They do assigned substantive work, research, analysis, synthesis, drafting, modeling, or preparing recommendations. One executor might gather evidence. Another might turn evidence into an executive narrative. A third might test the logic against the brief. Executors are not the operating model. They are the engine of the department. They produce work product for review. You approve the output and own the decision. Support is the shared service layer. This is where you put clear, structured, repeatable work. Sorting large volumes of material, extracting figures into a table, checking sources against a list, formatting a document to house style. Support needs tight instructions and limited judgment. It makes the department faster and cheaper. You would not ask support to decide strategy. You ask it to prepare inputs, check details, and handle volume so more capable agents can focus on higher judgment work. That is the structure. You set direction. The orchestrator plans and reviews. Executors do the heavy lifting. Support handles structured volume. Then the final output comes back to you for executive review. That is Agentic AI in management language. Not a chat tool you keep prompting, but a digital department you direct. Now put the structure to work. The task: by Thursday's board meeting, you need a 1-page briefing on how your top 3 competitors changed pricing in the last 6 months. You give one brief to the orchestrator. Prepare a board-ready pricing briefing. 1 page, plain English, sources cited. Highlight what changed, why it matters, and what decision we may need to make. That is the management input. The orchestrator turns it into a workflow. First, it defines the scope. 3 competitors, 6 months, public information only, no unsupported claims. Then it assigns the work. The researcher gathers pricing announcements, product pages, earnings comments, customer notices, and relevant news. Support agents handle the structured volume, scanning source material, removing duplicates, tagging dates, and flagging anything that mentions price, packaging, discounting, or contract terms. The writer turns the findings into a board briefing. Not a data dump, a decision document. What changed? What pattern is emerging? What it could mean for your market position? Where the evidence is strong? Where it is only a signal? Then the orchestrator reviews against the brief. Is it 1 page, Is it written for a board audience? Are the sources cited? Are assumptions separated from facts? Does it answer the business question? If the draft is too technical, it goes back to the writer. If a claim lacks support, it goes back to the researcher. If the formatting is inconsistent, support fixes it. Only after that does the briefing come to you. You have not managed every handoff. You have managed the system. You set the outcome, the boundaries, and the standard. The AI department coordinates the workflow inside those boundaries. You still review the final document before it goes into the board pack, because accountability has not moved. That is the difference between a chat tool and an agent system. A chat tool gives you answers. A digital department moves a business process from brief to reviewed output. Now that you understand the structure, let me translate the names you will hear. In vendor conversations, you may hear names like Opus, Sonnet, Haiku, GPT, and Gemini. Important, those names are not the org chart. A model is not automatically the manager or the support hire. The role comes from how your technical team uses that model inside the workflow. But model lineups do have capability and cost tiers. So a rough current staffing analogy looks like this. Treat this table as a model choice analogy, not a fixed rule. Some teams will use different providers. Some will use older approved models. Some will use a more capable model for every step when quality matters more than cost. The executive question is simple. Is the digital worker senior enough for the job you are giving it, and are you paying the right rate for that work? When someone says, we use a stronger model to orchestrate and a cheaper model to execute, you now know what they mean. They are making a staffing decision. You already understand this. It is management discipline applied to a digital department. So the next time someone proposes an AI agent workflow, do not start with the model names. Start with the org chart. Ask 3 questions. Question 1, who plans and reviews? Where is the orchestrator? What is responsible for turning the goal into tasks, checking quality, and deciding when work is ready for human review? Question 2, who does the work, and is the staffing level appropriate? Which agents are doing research, analysis, drafting, formatting, and checks? Are you using experienced capability where judgment is needed and lower cost support where the task is structured and repeatable? Question 3, where is the approval gate? Before the output affects customers, the board, regulators, or the market, who reviews it? Who signs off? Who owns the result? That last answer must be human. The formula is simple. Right structure, right roles, right cost, human approval equals a digital department you can manage. The technology is new. The management question is not. In the next episode, we are going to look at how you brief this department. Because the quality of the work is shaped by the clarity of the brief, the role you assign, the context you provide, the constraints you set, and the standard you expect. In management terms, how do you write instructions your digital department can actually act on? That is next. Subscribe for executive-level AI strategy. No code, no jargon, just the decisions that matter.